Welcome to Syke Studios, man. Schwem PAK, the punk ass kid.
You know it, punk ass kid shit.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Alright, man. So, video games or cartoons?
Cartoons.
Cartoons?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
liked video games as a kid, but I grew out of them bitches like a motherfucker.
But cartoons you never left?
I did, but then I came back. Cause I got really into like fucking tripping all the time, and cartoons are really like comforting. So.
Okay, so Saturday morning, nobody's bothering you. You got your cartoons and your cereal.
That's awesome.
He's like, I already love this shit.
Classic vibe.
What's your cartoon that you're waiting to come on? Like that one that you're like, I've been waiting all morning for that show to come on.
Shit, growing up, you know, we didn't really have access to everything all the time like we do now, so it was kind of whatever was on. It was like, I forget what channel it was, but they had like Chaotic on there. What else did I forget? They had Yu-Gi-Oh on there. That was sick. But for me personally, like I was always leaning towards like Pokemon. As I grow up, I'm more into like the Naruto, the Dragon Ball, stuff like that. Inuyasha's always been my favorite, even when I was a kid. But that's Saturday night. That's not Saturday morning.
Ooh. What's a grand and bonjour famille? Bump Jonas here, and I'm chilling with
Punk ass kid Schwem.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Syke Studios. We're gonna have a sit down, y'all. Let's get started. Now, do me a favor, pull your mic just a little bit closer so you don't have to lean in. Yep. That way I want you to be comfy when you talk, man.
Got you.
All right, so break it down for us a little bit, bro. I know you've been here before. You've been in that spot. You've had to sit down with me before, but not by yourself. You're a little bit further down on the couch at the time. But we know who Schwem is. Where is Schwem from, and why do you do what you do?
I'm from the Midwest, right? Okay. And I say like the Midwest because I really moved around a lot. Okay. Like I'm not one of these people who I was on one area for forever. I always had like split parents. You know what I mean? Like my parents were never together at any point.
So you always split time between houses in that sense.
Yep.
Okay.
So like my mom was on the Missouri side and my dad was on the Kansas side. And they had their parents too, and they had me pretty young as well. So I spent a lot of time with grandparents as well. So it was like I was always going from place to place.
So really, you had like potentially four different households that you could be in, whether it be mom, dad, and then mom, dad's grandparents or parents.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of options.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a good thing, right?
It actually is, yeah. It was weird though growing up because I felt like all those places was a different like vibe, and like maybe I had to act a certain way, you know, because like your dad wants you to act one way and your mom like don't care, or vice versa.
Right.
So it's a lot of that. But as I got older, I realized we're all in the same world and like all these things can intersect. But it really tripped me out for a while. But I don't think I said Kansas City is where I'm really from. That's where I spawned.
You gave us a lot. You gave us a lot.
But
I like that.
Although I spawned in Kansas City around my teenage years, early teens, family went out to Topeka, right?
Okay.
So then I had family in Kansas City and Topeka, and I was going back and forth a lot. And ever since then, just been a lot of the back and forth. I stay out there now because
that's where you are now, right? It's Topeka, top city in the house, y'all.
You know, 785 shit.
Look! I love it, man.
It's cheap out there, and they've always like really supported me. And you know, although I'm from here, my stomping grounds was up there.
Okay,
you know, so. It's kind of
and that's just because of your upbringing and how you moved around and stuff. Anyway, I mean, you're literally from both sides in that sense. Like,
yeah, and not even just like Topeka and Kansas City; those are both city locations. My grandparents ended up like getting a farm and shit. So I even got a little bit of like country shit in me.
You a farm boy too?
Low key.
I mean,
yeah.
You know what? I'm not surprised.
All over the place. It's really crazy, man. I got this line in one of my songs. It's like. Raised on a farm, but I was born in a hood.
See?
They both made me who I am, mainly misunderstood.
Ooh.
I'm a Midwest kid smoking California Kush. I love that fucking bar.
That was how we go like drop some lyrics right up top when he does it.
A lot of people don't get me because of that, right? They'll be real street oriented to where like, oh, they don't accept me because maybe I moved away or I wasn't there the whole time or what have you. And then like I never vibed with any of the country people. It took a really long time
because you came with a different energy already.
Because I was a city kid already, so I came out there and it was like
you do come
mad
off
weird.
as a city kid in a way, like, but at the same time you do have this sort of country, not rural, but like fuck it, let's go for it kind of vibe.
And to me, I'm like that's really what the Midwest is anyway.
Yeah, Yeah.
So
That's word.
that's why I just say Midwest.
I love that, man. All right, so let me ask you this, bro. Why music as opposed to so many other ways that you could express yourself? Because I feel like you're an expressive person with a lot of different talents. So why was music your main vehicle of choice?
That's a good question. It's just the most powerful feeling for me. It's just in my head, it's like the coolest thing. Yeah, just the coolest thing. I'm a writer, really. So like I write poetry and shit and stories. And I remember being real young before I really decided on music. That's a lot of what I was doing. But I would always like wish I could do music. And then once I kind of like put the pieces together, it's like, oh, I can write
I could do
music.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So was that writing was your first introduction to music? What was your first instrument?
Originally guitar.
Wait, I assume you play instrument.
Yeah,
No, I know.
I do.
I've seen you fucking play. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. What the hell?
My first instrument was the guitar.
Okay.
But I fell out of love with it really fast just because, I don't know. I just didn't have a whole lot of interest in the guitar. I thought it was hard. There was a lot of things that maybe I was overlooking that I didn't really learn or understand about it.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck the guitar. But what that got me doing was writing songs too, shit I would come up with on the guitar. And I just got more into the writing lyrics part. So I was like, okay, which honestly, I just thought that vocals were easier at the time. Easier for me to wrap my brain around, at least.
Well, at the time it made sense. And that's what it is.
Then eventually drums. Drums was actually probably right after that, just because picking up on rhythms in like hip hop and rap and how you have to create your bars and phrases in rhythmic patterns.
Right.
So I kind of really liked that, and I was like, I want to rap like my favorite drummer's drum, So I was really like experimenting with that, and then just playing drums in the background, but never really being that good. Trying to start bands, but never really being that good. Never really doing that shit with them. But fast forward, I just focused on what I was the best at, which was rap, lyrics, stuff like that.
And drums, though.
I was doing it in the background. It didn't come to the forefront until like a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, but you never stopped playing. Obviously, just like you said, it was in the background.
Exactly.
So what I find interesting about that, and you guys know I like to give people their kudos and their flowers. Now, I definitely want to give you your accolades, your props, because you started off saying that guitar is how you began, but you didn't really like it because of the effort and the work. But there's still effort and work in drumming.
Sure is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you stuck it out. Like, I'm not nothing on any guitarist. I know everyone loves a guitarist, but I mean, to be able to independently move left, right, arms and legs, and make rhythm and keep rhythm, it's
hard as shit. And honestly, one thing I noticed, it's a physically hard thing. When you're really drumming, you're not thinking about it so much. Honestly, the less you think about it, the better you're gonna do. Right?
So it's really more
you
like
have to feel
pure,
it.
like feel and emotion and the physicality of just like
yes. And in the guitar, for me, it was a lot of brain shit. I was like, this is fucking fucked up. Like,
I'm not doing it.
Guitar Hero's dope, but all this guitar is overrated. That's how I thought. But last fall, I picked up the guitar again because my homie was like, I don't know why you're not doing this like you should.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then I just kind of took that as like, maybe it is time I should pick up the guitar again. Because after all, that was my first instrument. My dad introduced it to me. Like, my dad, like, he passed away when I was 21, right? And like our relationship was kind of all over the place. So it was kind of sort of like a significance to me, like a sentimental significance to like, let me give that a go again. And so I started trying to learn it as an adult, not a child. And I was like figuring out what chords were. And then after I paired a couple of them together and actually was able to play something that sounded cool, not just somebody like fiddling around on it.
Right.
I had an emotional response that was like so great. Like I started like crying and I felt like my dad was like hanging out with me.
You got that connection you were looking for, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, oh,
there
and
it is.
Now I can look at that like I was looking at the drums or I was looking at the vocals. And
that's fucking
it's crazy.
fire. Okay, so I know ultimately we have something that we want to talk about specifically, and we're gonna lead to that. But one of the things I want to ask is, what are some of your least favorite genres of music to listen to?
That's hard because I really do. I
You
love
listen
all
to
music.
everything, right?
I try to love it all.
Well, that's why I said least, because I figure there's not. I don't think there's a genre that you don't like.
I mean, I would have to go with like your standard like country radio.
You don't like. You don't. Or you don't.
Not
You
really.
don't like it, or you just would rather not listen to it.
I mean, I'm a songwriter, so
Mm.
it's impossible for me to listen to a song and then not listen to the songwriting over everything. And a lot of times, songs are written really well.
Okay.
So I can't hate on it. I'm like, it's a banger. Even if I don't like the way it sounds, I'll end up liking it just because I can appreciate it. But even then, the more country shit I hear, like Post Malone's country shit, or like country from the '90s, or even older than that, Johnny Cash. Like, there's some shit that I really enjoy, like
Okay.
truly enjoy.
Okay.
And I'm like, I wish I didn't like this, but I do. I wish I didn't like this, but this is a fucking banger.
That's how I feel about Post Malone sometimes. Maybe not earlier on. Nowadays, it's kind of like, God, I don't know if I want to like this, but I gotta acknowledge that it fucking works.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Post Malone because everything that I'm saying is just like not really giving a shit about what you're supposed to be and just doing what you feel. And he really embodies that.
Yeah, and you really can't knock that. You can't ever knock that, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you don't like the sound. You may not like the sound, but damn it, the message and energy is still good. So, and I definitely, that's something about you though. Is you? Okay, I have to ask because you're a big guy. Have you always been a big guy, or like had this sort of imposing energy about you?
No, not really. I guess I kind of always like thought I did or wanted to or whatever.
Well, because I'm not gonna say you come off menacing, but you have, and it's not just the tattoos. Like you have this very like high energy or frenetic, like physical energy about you, and then you start talking and you're chill, and it's like, nah, this guy's just fun. He just wants to smoke bud and hang out. And
I've gotten that my whole life.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is about that, honestly.
He's just been there, hey.
Yeah. And then, ever since getting more into like training and eating right and everything, trying to like get as ripped as I can, that's only amplified
Maybe that's
that.
what it is that you're just in good shape. Like you just kind of have that, I guess, intimidating structure or something.
It adds to it, but I was a scrawny dude, and when
Really?
I've had several scrawny stages.
You don't look like you were ever scrawny, bro.
Definitely was. Dude, my body wants to get rid of everything and just be like skin and bones, I swear. Every time, like I have to work hard to keep weight on me.
Okay. All right, man. I'll fuck with it.
It's ridiculous, actually.
So, who are some of your current? Because the last time I talked to you, we talked about some of your past influences that, helped develop your sound. Who are some people that you're listening to currently when it comes to your sound?
I'm listening to so much right now, honestly. This dude named Dadex, I listen to him a lot, really because I want to work with him. But beyond that, I just really love the vibe and love the music. He's a rapper out of California,
Dadex.
a lot like me. Dadex, Daddex. Drippin' So Pretty is another one, kind of up that same alley. These are both like people who made really emotional, drug-fueled music, and then kind of like wised up a bit and try to do better for themselves. I really love when artists try to do better for themselves because I'm an artist trying to do better for myself.
Right.
So it's like it's inspiring.
It resonates.
Yeah, and it resonates. Yeah.
I love that.
So those are two that I really like, and those definitely have an influence on the way that I'm forming this album to sound. Another one would be like Trippie Redd and Juice WRLD. I love them because they're my age. Like
Right.
if we were in the same fucking area, we would have been in the same school and shit, or skipping school. You know what I mean? But a lot of people who are like my age, I really feel like there's something going on where it's like a wave, and the public thinks that the wave is over because people like Juice WRLD or XXX Tentacion,
Right.
Lil Peep, these
It's
people
so
died
long,
already.
yeah.
They're like, they had their, that was that. But it's a very small group of a big range of people.
Oh.
Big age group, you know?
Okay.
So I feel like we're not done yet, I feel like
the
all
influence
of our
that the impact and influence of that generation is not over yet, or that
absolutely, because I mean we're still around. You know, we're getting older. We saw those people who we were looking at as like somebody we could party with. We saw it like take them out, but also appreciated their impact and their dedication and the work that they did while they were here in that short amount of time. And I've tried to emulate that to an extent to where like I was like low key like trying to kill myself just because like I was just not giving a shit because I was like, you know, you're not supposed to give a shit.
Right.
You know, you can't give a
that
shit.
was the model, or that was okay.
Right. Exactly.
That was the mindset in a sense. You had to change that.
And it's not just my generation. There's, you know, 27 Club's been happening for forever. But
time,
the special thing about my generation that's fucked up is like, it's happening younger and younger.
Yeah.
But people aren't really like that anymore. I feel like my generation woke everybody up to where it was like, you know what, this is fucking stupid. A lot of people don't think that drugs are cool anymore, or like partying till you die is cool.
It's not necessary, you know.
It's
and
not.
you also don't have to work until you die either. Like your generation is kind of like yeah, we're kind of done with that bullshit. Let's just flick all of that off and
100%. And the younger we get, you know, because there's still generations happening.
Right. Still, yeah.
You know, they seem to be embodying that even more so.
Well, it's getting all right, so now we're gonna get all political and shit. No, I'm playing. But no, that is something that I think actually you resonate in a way, or like, what's the right word? It just kind of exudes from you in a sense, a certain sense of rebellion. You mean the punk ass kid, like, I don't give a fuck, guy. Like that doesn't work for me, you know.
Bro, that's ridiculous. I've been trying to rebel against shit for no damn reason. It's like it's a part of who I am for some reason, and my parents are the same way. So I guess it's genetics. But
you know what I mean? But
bro.
Look, I want to touch on the thing we're here to talk about, which is Asteroid. So this is a single that's coming out, and it may be out by the time this drops. Actually, when is it coming out? What can we expect from it? And you know, like what all did you put into the sound of this?
So Asteroid comes out on the 4th of March.
Okay.
So that's coming up like at real time next week.
Right.
I don't know when this will come out, but if it is, run it up. Let's go. So it's the first single from my album PAK Forever, which last year I went on my PAK Forever tour, and that's where we had our first interview. Actually, it was right before that.
Yep. That's right. Yeah.
So this has been a long time coming. I really, I write all my stuff in advance. Like if I'm recording one album, I'm already writing the next one.
Oh,
and I've always been like that.
Okay.
So we've really worked hard to get these songs perfect because now that we're working with the studio, Soundpeak, shout out Soundpeak. Now that I'm working with them and my good bro, Alien for President, the engineer, he's very focused on just making sure we have the most professional, best sounding, best quality we can.
Okay.
And that's something that I've never really cared about, to be honest. I'm a writer. I'm like, the more songs I can make, the better, because I'm going to get better at writing the songs.
Get them out there.
But I play him a song, he don't even care how it was written. He don't hear none of that. He hears, how does it sound? And that's just not how I am.
Right.
So we're really like the dynamic duo right now, to where I do my part, he does his part. We don't clash or interfere. We're just balling out right now. So I'm telling you, man, we're on fire with this shit. And we worked hard for that to be a thing. Like the Love and Suicide album, last year's, we had a lot of rocky roads because we just hadn't developed that workflow yet, and the mutual understanding of like who's doing what. By the time this PAK Forever shit came around, it was like, all right, here's how we're doing this.
Right. You guys have figured out your
checklist.
dance by that point, though.
Exactly.
Who does what and how it's done, and like I'll go left and you go right. I'll lead. Yeah, I like that.
We can really execute this shit now.
There's the fucking word, execute. I like that. So, okay, you said Soundpeak was the studio that you did most of the recording, or all of the recording?
All of it.
All of it's there.
All of it.
And Alien for President is out of Soundpeak as well.
Yep.
You're over there at Soundpeak.
Yeah, me and him grew up together making music, and now we get to do it as adults too.
Oh shit!
And we're better at it now.
Oh shit! You've had a lot of like sort of reunions of sorts in your life, in just this story, right?
Full circles.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I follow him.
I like that.
I see that as like the universe laying it out. Like people ask like God for a sign and shit. I see him all the time, and I'm like, okay, so if that's okay, I know what I should do.
Yeah.
Or I know what not to do. Let me say something though. this PAK Forever album is supposed to really be like a middle finger, because all those things we said earlier about kids doing drugs, being focused on hustling, money, gang shit more than real life. You know what I mean? Like actual real life. Like it can get real.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
we all know what I mean when I say real
But it
life.
doesn't have to be real life for you. Like there's other things and other shit that needs
We
to go
all
on.
know that we've allowed media to influence who we are, and we're so deep inside that my culture is like we're so intertwined in it, you know. And then the culture of the generation below me and below them is even more intertwined, and like we're gonna be cyborgs soon enough. But
Damn.
that's one thing. We're not worried about that. It's a middle finger to the industry, right? Because the industry has really influenced us in all these directions, and that's like the phrase and the hook for Asteroid is this industry is the devil. It ain't what you expect,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I figured that'd be the perfect single to,
Yes.
to start the rollout.
And that's a common thing too, and not common in that like, oh, everyone says that, but kind of like we eventually will get tired of the same bullshit that's being force fed to us, and I think that's what you're saying here. And like, yo,
Absolutely.
fuck you, and especially
We're
because it's
beyond
like,
that.
yeah, and that also resonates with what you were already saying about your generation. So you're kind of giving, not kind of, you're actually giving us, you know, the summary, the summation, the anthem, the yelling of what your generation has been trying to say in a long time.
It's exactly what I'm trying to do. I feel like we finally have something worth broadcasting, whereas before we was just fucking around trying to make something that sounded cool.
Right.
Now it's like, no, hold up, like we understand too much to just keep talking that get high shit all the time. You know what I mean?
So why Asteroid?
So Asteroid specifically is like it's a middle finger to the industry, but it's also gonna really shake shit up in the local scene, right? So PAK Forever is supposed to be broadcasted to the whole world. However, my fan base, although it is all over the world,
Right.
it's mainly right here.
Right.
So it's intertwined in like who we work with.
I like that.
You know, this song is definitely like aimed at somebody specific, but I didn't like mention them by name or anything because I don't have to.
Right.
This person has this reputation of essentially just like taking advantage of everybody they've worked with and,
So
and not listening.
They'll know by the energy and references.
Everybody's gonna know, my dude. It's fucking crazy. So
So
I don't even want to
Asteroid
do this. I'm
straight.
not like that, right? But I've had so many friends and related artists and people that I've worked with tell me the same story, and for so long I was like blinded by how this person treated me. So I was like, "What are you guys talking about? Like y'all must be just hating
It can't
because
be
we're
like
doing
that."
good. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck?" And then after like a year and a half of just like person after person being like,
Bro,
"This motherfucker is not your friend like you think he is."
Right.
All of a sudden, I realized it at one point, and I was like, "Man,
It hit home.
I got." So that's one thing.
We all been there.
We've all been there, and that's one thing. But really, this is me coming out in public with it for all those people who was in my ear, but didn't actually react in public. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's a FU to him, and I'm trying to be a voice to the people who don't have a voice or aren't
Right.
using their voice. You know
I
what
like
I mean?
I like that you.
I'm giving these motherfuckers what they want.
You're definitely like you said, you're the rebel without a cause sometimes, right? And you definitely got something to say, and when there's something to say, you're gonna say it. I like that. I appreciate that about you because we definitely need that. So when it comes to PAK Forever, I mean, it's coming out soon. Are you gonna go on tour? Because you, from the time I met you up until now, you're always working, always doing something, always got another show or something. So can we expect that as far as the rollout?
Well, I've been very tour based for a while, and seriously, I've done probably like 12
Like you said,
tours.
like, when do you rest? Actually, you know what I mean?
Nobody needs that. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I've done a lot of touring. I really want this rollout to be focused on growing online. Like I said, I want to be broadcasted to the rest of the world.
Gotcha.
That's why we're getting this first single where it's somewhat on the local or regional level, out of the way. You know, here's something for y'all. Everything else is for the rest of the world. You know what I mean?
Shit.
But
He
with
cares
that being
about that
said,
show.
I do. With that being said, this is still perfectly brought. Like, there's nothing so specific about this track that anybody can't relate to it.
Exactly.
You know.
But if they're local, they're gonna feel it a little bit more. There's gonna be some nuances or some things. I fuck with that. Okay. So I want to ask, where do you feel most at home? Like, where does Schwem PAK feel most comfortable, where he can just?
I keep finding new places where I feel like that.
I like
my guy.
I like that.
It's like I'll be feeling comfortable, like back in the Topeka area, right? I'll be like, man, this is like my stomping grounds. Like I feel so comfortable. Like I can just like do anything and be anywhere, and everyone will love me for it, right?
Yeah.
Kansas City, I'm like, oh man, this is like every time I'm here, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is like my roots. I love this shit, and it's a different kind of love. You know, and then I'll go up to like Omaha, where I've spent a lot of time on tour and shit, and been shown a lot of love there. And it's like, oh man, this is like my second home. You know what I mean? Like I love being here. But I'll go to like San Diego, and I'm like, I've never felt so good just to be alive.
Right.
For no reason other than just being here, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, so San Diego, I guess.
Okay. So
It needs to be my home.
I was like, bro, we got to pick one. You done mentioned a lot here. I was like,
San Diego needs to be my home, but I can't say that because I haven't actually lived there. But I also know I want to live in UK at some point too.
Ooh.
Really, just to influence my creativity.
Yeah, I would say I think you would do well in the UK.
I got some UK friends that they seem to be exactly like us. You know,
hit them up, man. Schwem PAK, man. See what's going on.
Get me out there.
Now we're talking about PAK Forever, and the single coming up is Asteroid. I do want to deviate a little bit. I mean, we're gonna ask a bunch of stuff that gets to know about you, but one thing I want to understand. So, how does PAK Forever differ from some of the other projects that you're doing? Like, are you playing drums on PAK Forever? Because you're a drummer in like 3-4 other projects. Or do we call bands projects, or how does that like?
I'm actually treating them like projects because I realize that the musicians that I've always respected, they call them projects as well.
Okay.
And I've realized it's because like you have to separate like each thing, like each song is a project, right? But also each album is a project,
right?
And then you zoom out even more, and you're like, well, hold on, me as this artist is a project. I could go start another thing as a different artist or with other artists.
Yeah.
Now that's a project. So I treat them all like companies because if we have an album and we put it out and we run that tour and shit, we're building up the company. Let's say something happens, I have to leave that company because I go on a Schwem tour or something. At that point, it's like, okay, replace me. I know that's part of it, but I'm going to still get all those residuals no matter what.
From the process of establishing that company.
And you know, wherever the world takes us, maybe I can come back as soon as my tour's done. Maybe you guys love the sounds you're making with this drummer now. And that's another thing. I'm drumming, not singing, so I see it as two different elements, two different sides of the spectrum. So I'm treating them like startup companies, right? Where I'm giving them my all, and I'm very passionate about them. But at the end of the day, it can go wherever because it's about the project we make. It's not about us being friends, us being a band. It's about this beautiful shit that we create that people are going to appreciate.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes the work, or it makes the product more important than the players in the product sometimes.
That's how I look at it. And with We're All Gonna Die, I feel like we're all looking at it in that exact same way.
Okay.
And it's really like my passion project. So that one is like, I feel like that one's my baby. Whereas all the others, I feel like I'm either an employee or, you know, one of the people starting up the company.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Like either the employee or the founder, as opposed to you're just in your favorite playroom with your favorite buddies, doing your favorite activity.
It's like nothing.
Right.
Yeah. We was practicing last night, and it was like we was going crazy, bro.
Now,
Before we knew it, it'd been like 5 hours.
Is that because it's new and fresh?
No, because me and Too High, one of the members of We're All Gonna Die, me and him been working together since like 2018.
Okay.
You know, getting together, making rap music, or getting together, playing drums and he plays guitar, or, you know, whatever, just making music. That's the bottom line.
Okay,
That's
so it's
all
not
that
so
matters.
fresh that it's not
Me and him have done it before, but
Yeah.
it is fresh with Teague in the mix too. So I mean,
there's a new element there, but there's still something that's like making it very easy and cohesive.
and that
just
hasn't
natural.
that's only gotten brighter. It hasn't dimmed at all. So it's just something we need to be following.
So how does something like that really? Okay, and this is ultimately what I'm asking. I want to bring it back to the current project, right? To PAK Forever. How do these other projects, these passion projects, these side quests, right? How do they contribute? How do they help?
I've been waiting on that. Okay, so a lot of people are like thinking I'm crazy for being in 4 bands at the same time, plus trying to be a solo artist. I'm like, man, listen here. When I first started this, the Schwem, me being a solo artist, I had figured that out. I'm like, okay, this is a thing. I sucked, but it was a thing. And, you know, I had some like fucking online people and shit, you know,
Right.
some real life people too. So I was like, okay, this is a real thing. Yet, like I said, I was working on the instruments in the background, so also ended up meeting some other people, Aliens being one of those guys, Alien for President. We start trying to be in bands together. Like I said, in the long run, it doesn't work out. But in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Because we got to this point where we played a show, and on that show, I opened up for my band as Schwem.
Okay.
And then, you know, we had another opener in between us, and then I got back up with the band. And in my head, I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. And that was like the first show we ever set up by ourselves, and we like packed the room out.
Nice.
I did that instead of graduating. Literally, it was graduation weekend, and I'm a dropout. So I was like, literally, this is me like graduating. This is me like, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? And then Universe gave me my certification. Is like, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
It's gonna work.
He
Do
didn't
that
have to
shit.
walk the stage.
I was
He grabbed the drumstick.
I still showed up because Aliens, like I said, he was in the band. He was in my same class. He graduated. I showed up to support them
No
and whatnot.
shit.
But yeah,
That's a movie scene, right? You know, that's like
my life feels like a movie,
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
because of all these weird full circle moments.
Right.
But anyway, we weren't very fucking great. We were okay, but we weren't very great. So I kept feeding the plant that was biggest, right? I kept watering that one, which was the Schwem, the solo project.
that was a gem, y'all. Just so you know, that was a good one.
Now I'm at a point where I feel like I'm good enough with these other plants that I can be in bands and on stage, and I can play drums instead of Flex the drummer, shout out, who always plays during my Schwem stuff.
Okay.
Like, cause he really pushed me to just like switch places, because he knows I can play, and so we would be on stage, and he'd be like, "You're playing this one," and I'd be like,
What?
and it's like I gotta either sync or Schwem at that point.
You got a drum splash for the
I'm
drummer in the
dead.
house.
But seriously though, it puts the pressure on. You know,
Yeah.
it's like literally sink or swim. Like, and so that got my mind moving. I was like, okay, hold up. All these different projects now that I'm doing, where I'm drumming, or I'm helping these songwriting processes. For me, they don't take away, because when I get sick of rapping or sick of singing, I can go drum for an hour and then get sick of that, and then pick up the guitar for an hour, get sick of that, and then end up rapping again after that. Because I just love it all so much.
You have so many
now
options.
it's like, yeah, I have like all these branches, and they're finally like strong enough that I can do them all. And so when people are asking me like, why are you spreading yourself so thin? I'm like, I'm not spreading myself thin. I'm strengthening on all cylinders.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, you're a multi-limb tree, and the tree, the branches are strong and flourishing. So you're just like, hey,
At the end of the day,
keep reaching.
Mason, right? Like beyond Schwem or whatever, none of any of the bands I'm in, beyond any of that, Mason is becoming a better musician, because he's becoming more involved into music and learning new parts of it. I don't give a fuck what genre we're playing if it's on drums.
Right.
Every genre has a beat, you know, so let me do my thing, you do yours.
Except for those beats where the new thing, like the Rock Marciano type beats, where they just take the whole drum out and it's all like kind of percussion sample based or something.
Ooh, okay, you might have to show me what you're talking about.
I'll send you
This
some
sounds
samples.
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's kind of dope. All right, so look, I got a couple more questions, man. I really, really appreciate your time, man. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you too. Sorry for being so damn long-winded, man.
Don't ever, bro. That's the whole fucking point. That's the whole point. I mean, okay, for real. When does an artist ever really get the chance to say what they're thinking?
I mean,
you can sing all
that's
day.
all an artist does. What do you mean?
Do they though? I mean, do they? I mean, yeah, but half the time it's you have to do it in a way that people want to hear and shit, right? You got
Sure.
to be on stage. Like,
Okay, yeah.
There's very few times where you just actually get a mic and just talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're, you know what I mean? You get to a red carpet or you get to you get on a promo run.
You have to make it that way, though.
That's true.
You have to add, that's part of being an artist is being able to inject your flavor into the media run,
This guy's
you know,
fucking good.
or the stage show or whatever it is.
I hope you, in the most respectful way, bro, I hope you never get signed. Or
Yeah.
I hope you just like stay as independent and successful as possible because you deserve.
I don't know how to feel about that because like I've gone through different phases in my life where it's like I want to get signed. That's my main goal. But at the end of the day, I've always looked up to people like Tech Nine, you know, being from Kansas City and whatnot. And that's another person I'm listening to a lot right now.
Okay.
I kind of got sidetracked. You asked me who I was listening to a lot while I'm creating this, and it's Tech Nine. And because I feel like I'm on the same wave that he was with Absolute Power, but I'm nothing the same because I'm a whole different person.
Right.
We might be from the same place, but we have completely different lives, and we're just not the same. So I feel like it's almost like a new wave, man, because, you know, being his age, I mean, me being my age, I guess I'm like half his age. I'm 25.
Yeah, you're about half his age.
It's a whole new thing. We didn't grow up based on the same thing. So everything that the times allowed him to say in his time resonates with me, but there's a lot of things that are like not this time.
Right. That
So
you
now,
need to say or that need to be said.
yeah, I feel like I'm able to do that now and like build on that in a way.
And is that part of? So for what I wouldn't say is that part of PAK Forever, but I just feel like this project is sort of a different launch for you in a way.
It's weird. So it's actually an ending because I have Punk Ass Kid 1, Punk Ass Kid 2, Punk Ass Kid 3, now Punk Ass Kid 4, which is
Okay,
PAK
PAK
Forever.
Forever.
So it's supposed to be symbolic of like I'm ending that Punk Ass Kid era of me, which is essentially like my mixtapes.
Okay.
Me getting like just really expressive, you know. I don't want to go too into it, but just on some Punk Ass Kid shit, like what we were talking about. I feel like I'm no longer that person, or I'm coming out of that. I'm still that person to a certain degree, but I have to sort of throw on an act that I know is like what I've already done in the past, which is a part of growing as an artist, of course. Yeah, but those parts of you grow with you, and so you no longer feel the angst, the need to like yell about the same things. So this is me finishing up that, getting all those songs out, yet also trying to present myself to a brand new crowd that is really the same crowd that has always been, but like on a bigger scale.
Right, larger scale, maybe a couple different perspectives, maybe a little bit more mature than 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. Who knows? Okay.
And the way that I look at it, if this doesn't do well, then I never have to rap again unless I want to. Right? Because I feel so much like weird. Like rapping is what allowed me to get into music and develop as an artist. But the more I develop, the more I'm like trying to get away from rap low key.
Right, so that
even
you can
though
feel
I'm so
more
good at it.
developed as an artist.
Right.
I like that.
But
Ooh.
ultimately, I don't care about impressing somebody with rapping. I care about making them feel something through music. And rap can do that very well.
I get it now. I get it. Rapping's good for you. It's your start. It's your home base. At the end of the day, though, music is what is the most. The music itself is a powerful concept for you, and you want to be able to increase the power of your music. And so it can't be just
100%.
focused on rap. All the other components of what you do have to be strengthened and expanded and empowered.
100%.
I like that.
And I'm like, if this does take off, then I'll keep doing it forever. Whatever.
Right.
But if it doesn't, I don't have to unless I want to.
Because you got other things that you can do
So
and
it's
do
like-
it well.
Yeah, but I'm also not gonna half-ass it. I feel like I've been half-assing everything because I've been such a punk ass kid. I'm playing by the rule book with this motherfucker.
Okay.
I'm really trying to do everything correctly.
So let me ask you, I got a couple more questions here. Oh, God, I almost lost that thread. Yep, I did. Damn it.
It happens.
How
Major
do you-
PAK moment.
Yeah. How do you read the room? Or how do you read the energy in a room? Because you do a lot of shows. You're obviously, working at a studio. You deal with a lot of different people, relationships. You're involved with Major PAK directly. So there's a lot of times where you're having to like kind of use your city kid skills, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what's
yeah.
your process of reading the room?
I have to go into it with the mindset of having a goal. Otherwise, I just won't perform well. I'll walk away from the interaction feeling like oh, I didn't do what I was supposed to do or whatever.
Okay.
Or maybe that went the wrong way. But I have to like kind of have a goal in mind and then also ignore whatever I think because I'm actually really bad at reading the room. I'll always think that somebody's like hating on me for looking at me from across the room, but then they'll end up coming up and telling me how dope they think I am or that they knew me and they've been following me for a while.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm fucking
shit.
dumb. What the hell?
That's
Like,
what that was? My bad. I love
yeah,
that.
and it's really a lot of that. Like I'll walk away from a lot of situations thinking one thing and then learning that it was actually the exact opposite. So I try to approach every situation as if it's a clean slate. I really don't want to judge people for how they look or act at that moment because it can always change. You know, yeah, just a clean slate. Like I try to treat every interaction like it's a new thing.
Like it's a brand new one. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Probably because you didn't misread it a few times. You're like, look, dude, we're not doing that shit again. We're just gonna like start off fresh. Listen, you tell me what's going on because I'm probably, you know what I mean. I like that.
However, if we come into it with a goal orient like in mind, like we're doing this podcast.
Right.
If I showed up and you were like trying to do a bunch of other stuff, I would get like flustered because I'm like, we really came here for this one thing. Like,
Why are we doing this other shit? What's going on?
Type shit, yeah.
Okay, I got you. I fuck with that. So this one, I'm asking this respectfully, and it's something that I've noticed, not of you, but something that happens to you. I've seen you at a couple shows, and I even noticed it in the videos. The ladies love you.
yeah,
The ladies love you.
I don't know why.
But and so,
Honestly.
and that's I'm not saying that's the response I'm looking for, but that is the energy I see. Like you don't mind it, but you're kind of like, hey, I'm not here for that. I'm here to, you know. So my question is like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the attention that comes from the ladies?
I think I deal with it fine. It's the people in my life, girlfriends, who hate it. You know.
Oh yeah, that could be rough.
They really don't
I'm
like
so
it.
Sorry.
You know, no matter who it is. I'm interested in being myself and expressing myself in public because that's what I feel like I represent as a living entity. I'm not so interested in impressing people, and I said that earlier. Like I'm truly like not competition based. If I'm competitive with anybody, it's me earlier.
Right.
And I don't know where that comes from. Honestly, it's a good thing overall because it makes me a better person in the long run. But in real time, it kind of sucks to deal with because it's like
He's like, I don't even want this.
people would take me the wrong way or like
Right.
they'd be trying to like hit on me aggressively and shit. And I'm like, I'm here for the show.
Not with that shit. Yeah.
For real. You know, and I've had my times where I'm like, let's go. Like it's hoe time. Like it's hoe season. Let's run it. Bring them.
Hold on, Schwem is a wait. No, let me say that.
You
Right.
know?
My bad. Let's slow down.
You know? Oh man, you'll hear some hoe music on PAK Forever for sure.
Oh shit! All right,
For sure.
Y'all heard it though. Schwem gets ratchet too.
So I have my phases, you know, but I'm really here for a purpose. I'm goal oriented.
So let me ask you: could you exist in a world where you didn't have to work to survive? And what would you do with yourself?
That's what I'm like working toward. That's like my dream, I feel like. But then again, you know, it's one of those things, if you have it, you miss the life you had where you know, it's like it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. You're saying like a life where I don't have to work outside of music or like I don't have to do anything but exist.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything but exist. But I like the way you went with that first one too. That's a good point. That's a good angle.
I would love to just exist. Wouldn't we all?
You know what I mean? Like
I feel like I just exist when I'm on like shrooms or acid, when I'm really like peaking. I really feel like I'm myself, and I detach from the whole like I need to be doing this or I need to be thinking about this because everything's very scheduled in this lifestyle we
right.
have.
It's very anxiety creating or
It
inducing.
sure
I think.
is, yeah. And I like to really step out of that and just exist. So another thing though, if my whole life was that, I don't think that'd be great. You know,
Because
I'd get bored.
what
Wouldn't
would you do, right?
Yeah, I'd get bored.
And that's the follow-up question: is what would you do with your time?
Smoke weed and listen to music.
Okay, and so then we're back to music. He'd be making. Well, no. Would you be making music? Would you end up making music?
I probably would for fun.
See,
Eh,
so we're right back to where
right
we
back to it. Yeah, that's not a part of this human existence. I don't think. Like, it's a great thing to imagine and whatnot, but it's really not a part of. If
existing without
everything,
having to work in that sense.
if you had nothing to work for, you wouldn't be alive. I feel like. You know, because like I'm low key like really spiritual, so I believe in like reincarnation and all this shit.
Okay.
I think we've all like certain people have been here many times or fewer times than this other person or whatever the fuck.
But we've all been here before.
And I think it's all whether it be in this exact thing, like it's all replaying, or we're just living a new life and it's another chance, something
Right.
like that, where you don't have any memory of the other life, but like
You get sort of like a cosmic Groundhog Day almost.
yeah, where we're all like the fucking just redoing it over till we get it right type shit. That's some real Buddhist shit. But
Hey, look.
you know, Hindu too, like it's all on the table for me.
Doesn't matter what you believe in, it's still PAK forever.
Exactly. You get it, man. My dad was he was a true punk ass kid, bro. He did not give a shit. And, you know, sad to say it, but he drank himself to death. But
Damn.
he was like, he went out partying like a motherfucker, you know, and I wish he didn't, but
he did it how he lived. It sounds
he did it how he lived, man. And I respect that shit. And he respected people who did that. And I respect that, like, but I'm also tired of the heartache of like watching somebody you love kill themselves like
right.
that.
And especially, like you said earlier, the mentality of, well, I'm not supposed to care, so this is what I do. And you're like, this is not what it is.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
I would like to exist happily and whatnot, and definitely like live hard, you know, but live hard in the ways that I want to. And, you know, this album is supposed to come out on the day he died, because it's really, I'm very
shit.
symbolic
Okay.
with all my shit. Like a lot of my releases have been on days where somebody was
Significant dates or
born
something.
or
Oh,
somebody
wow.
died
Okay.
who was a part of my story, who made me me. And like I'm saying, he was really a punk ass kid, bro. And he lived a punk ass kid, and he died one. And he's still living through me and my bros. And
That's
so
hard.
in a way, this is also like PAK forever, like my way of honoring him.
It's also an homage and a reconnection of sense, too. Wow. So
It's deep.
this is something that I know that you've answered before in one way or another, but I ask everybody every time when they come on the show. When it's all said and done, and I think we're going to tie this specifically to PAK Forever. I know the project or the song that is coming out now, or that's coming out, the first single, is going to be Asteroid, and we could tie it to that if you want. But overall, for the project, when it's all said and done, and they've listened to it, it's been released. What is it you want folks to take away as far as the experience of PAK Forever?
If a punk ass kid from Kansas can do it, anyone can.
I love it.
For real, but I
That's
gotta
a
do
good
it. I gotta do it. Like I feel like, you know, you always feel like you never achieved enough. You know, I really feel like I haven't achieved enough. So I'm hungry as fuck, dude. And I'm like, I feel myself getting older, and I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can do it legitimately, because you can do it forever, but how long can you do it genuinely? I feel like this is like some of my last chance of this style. Of course, I'm gonna make music till the day I die. I'm gonna find a way, and it's only gonna get better. But I'm like, I'm really trying to wring this shit out. Like,
Right.
let's fucking do it. I don't want it to be the end of anything, of course, but if it is, so be it. Because I'm gonna listen to the universe. You
Well,
know?
like you said, I can never rap again, or I can. Doesn't matter.
I'm trying to make this shit happen though. For real, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm not gonna half-ass it.
The single is coming out. It's probably out already right now. Asteroid. My question is, where can we find it? Where should we be looking for it? And are there going to be any videos or anything that goes along with it?
Yeah, we're gonna do a couple videos. Those should be actually, like, you keep scrolling, you'll probably find one
Already? Okay, good.
by the time this is out. Like I said, we're really trying to do it by the book. So yeah, we're gonna have the promo videos versus the official video. It'll be out on all platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music. Honestly, I'm trying to get people to like stray away from Spotify and go more towards like YouTube Music or Apple Music.
Okay.
Just because we all know like Spotify ain't on shit.
They on some hoe shit, bro.
They are on some hoe shit all the way.
Y'all some punk ass bitches.
Man, see,
You
there's a
know what I'm
difference.
saying?
There's a
You know what
difference.
I'm saying?
Man.
So look, man, before we get up out of here, is there anything else you want to let the folks know, man?
Be yourself courageously, right? That's what being a punk ass kid is about. That's what I feel like I represent. That's why I got dedicated, tatted right here so you can see it. Because just be yourself, because it's so worth it at the end of the day. Like, even if your life is hard because you fought to be yourself, the next person who thought you were the shit is going to have an easier life because you did it.
Because of your effort.
Literally.
All right, y'all. This has been a hell of a conversation. Sit down here at Sykes. Bump Jonas with none other than,
Fuck ass kid shit.
you know what I'm saying?
Schwem.
Hey, look, y'all. As I always say, love yourself like you try to love the world. Do something to earn your place in the world this week. Just be a dope motherfucker. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
I love that. What a great way to end it.